News at 5 in association with Accoland Amusement Park, Annapurna Foods, Junior Horlicks, and Biz Farm Biscuits.
Hello and welcome to News at 5. I'm Priyadarshini Medhi and now let's take a look at the headlines. Assam and Arunachal Pradesh governments ink historic Namsai declaration to resolve boundary dispute. Chief ministers of both states confident of ending dispute by this year. Chunapulembi, Mahua Moitrosters, another controversy, replaces sexual harassment with Mr. Gogoi amid unparliamentary words list row. Alarming situation over African swine fever outbreak in Assam. Animal Husbandry Minister calls for cooperation from farmers to tackle menace. All Meghalaya SSA Teachers Association begins indefinite strike, slams government for allegedly failing to fulfill promises. India continues to fight COVID-19. Assam, Manipur and Tripura governments begin drive to administer booster doses. And Dalai Lama calls upon India and China to resolve issues. Tibetan spiritual leader advocates for mutual talks between both nations. All right, we start the bulletin with a big story from the region. In line with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of a dispute-free Northeast before 2024, the Assam and Arunachal Pradesh governments today signed the Namsai Declaration to resolve the decades-old interstate border dispute between both the states. Well, the declaration was signed by Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma and his Arunachal counterpart Pema Khandu at Namsai. During the deliberations, both the states arrived at a conclusion that disputes now persist in 86 villages, although differences existed initially pertaining to 123 villages. Both the states arrived at this crucial conclusion on the basis of findings by the Survey of India and deputy commissioners of both the states. Briefing media, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma said that 34 villages are already under the constitutional jurisdiction of Arunachal Pradesh, while 3 are in Assam. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Sharma said that regional committees of both the states will work together to resolve the issue by making ground zero visits and interacting with all the concerned stakeholders. Chief Minister Sharma said that every effort will be made to reach a consensus on the decades-long issue before September 15.
Namsai declaration has been signed. We can say it's a historic moment.
As you know, that Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji and Home Minister Sri Amit Shah ji is very keen to see that interstate dispute between the northeastern state is resolved. So today, through Namsai declaration, we have taken a very huge step forward to the effect that initially the dispute between Assam and Arunachal was considered to be 123 villages. But when we considered Survey of India map and the field report of Deputy Commissioner, we have come to a conclusion that now this dispute can be resolved only to 86. Most 28 plus 6 villages, almost 34 villages are actually within the constitutional boundary of Arunachal. 3 villages, Arunachal has already said that it is within the state of Assam. So today it is very historic to the effect that we have restricted the dispute from 123 to 86 villages. Now on this 86 villages, the regional committee formed by both the government will work together, and by 15th September we'll try to bring more consensus.
So how the regional committees will work now?
Our regional committee is headed by cabinet minister from both sides. They will visit the respective area. They will consult the maps, they will consult the land records, they will take the views of local people, and then they will submit the report to the chief minister of both the state.
Well, Pema Khandu has said that he is hopeful to solve the border dispute by this year.
You see, the dispute in some area is very simple. Some area it is complex. So let us work now and see what happens. But yes, we are committed to resolve the dispute.
Thank you very much. That was Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma talking exclusively to Northeast Live, reporting from Namsai with camera person Binod Adhikari. This is Arindam Das for Northeast Live.
Meanwhile, Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Pema Khandu appreciated the political will of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and his Assam counterpart Himanta Biswa Sharma in resolving the interstate boundary issue that has existed over 70 years. The Arunachal Chief Minister added that people's opinion will be taken into consideration before making any final decision. An interim report will be submitted by regional committees of both the states by September 15, which will be examined by both the state governments before being forwarded to the center for approval.
We are joined in by Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Mr. Pema Khandu. Well, today the Namsai Declaration has been signed. So how do you view this?
इनफैक्ट ये हमारा अरुणाचल प्रदेश और असम के लिए बहुत ही एक अच्छा एक निर्णय यहाँ पे हुआ है। तो मैं सबसे पहले तो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, यूनियन मिनिस्टर, होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह जी को तहे दिल से धन्यवाद प्रकट करना चाहता हूँ। और साथ ही साथ हमारे जो विजनरी लीडर है ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर असम, उनके प्रोएक्टिवनेस के कारण से आज जो यहाँ नामसाई डिक्लेरेशन, जिसका कॉपी आप लोगों को अभी मिल चुका होगा, उसमें देखिए कि असम अरुणाचल का जो बॉर्डर इशू है वो करीबन 70 सालों से 7 डेकेड से चल रहा है। ये पॉलिटिकल विल कमजोर होने के कारण से इसको रिजोल्व कर नहीं पाया, मगर अभी प्रधानमंत्री के नेतृत्व में और हमारे जो काउंटर पार्ट है श्री अमित शाह, डॉक्टर हेमंत बिश्वा शर्मा जी और यूनियन होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह जी के एडवाइस पर अभी कुल मिला के जो 123 जो विलेजेस में जो डिस्प्यूट है उसको आज हम लोग यहाँ नामसाई में डिस्कस करके डिलिब्रेशंस करके आउट ऑफ दैट 37 विलेजेस इज ऑलरेडी रिजॉल्व नाउ। तो 123 माइनस 37 वो अभी आके 86 विलेजेस में अभी बैठा हुआ है। और इस 86 विलेजेस को भी अभी अरुणाचल और असम दोनों कमिटी गठन हो चुका है और कमिटी इज हेडेड बाय द मिनिस्टर्स फ्रॉम बोथ द साइड्स। दोनों अभी जॉइंट विजिट उन सभी लोकेशंस पे जॉइंट विजिट करेंगे, लोगों का कॉन्फिडेंस लेंगे इसमें, असम के का लोगों के पास भी जाके उनसे भी बातचीत करेंगे और अरुणाचल के लोगों का भी एकदम आराम से बैठ के बात करके लोगों का हिसाब से ही हम लोग अभी इसको ग्राउंड में फील्ड विजिट करके इसको सोल्यूशन देंगे। और साथ साथ एक टाइमलाइन भी हम लोग ने सेट किया है कि बाय 15 सितंबर एक इंटरिम रिपोर्ट दोनों गवर्नमेंट को सबमिट किया जाए, उसको फिर हम लोग फर्दर एग्जामिन करके हम लोग फॉरवर्ड फिर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को कंसिडरेशन के लिए हम लोग फॉरवर्ड करेंगे। ये जो बॉर्डर का जो विषय जो है, मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले जो कहा कि पॉलिटिकल विल के कारण से ही अभी हो रहा है, तो हम लोग पूरा टारगेट कर रहा है कि बाय 2022 बाय एंड ऑफ दिस ईयर इसको हम लोग पूरा रिजॉल्व करने का पूरा विद पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड के साथ हम लोग काम कर रहा है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
तो आपने बताया कि प्रेस मीट में बाय 2022 एंड यू वांट टू सॉल्व द बॉर्डर डिस्प्यूट एमिकेबली, तो कैसे करेंगे?
तो वही तो मैं ब्रीफ किया ना कि कमेटी का गठन हो चुका है। अरुणाचल में 12 डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, असम का 8 डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, मगर असम ने भी 12 कमेटी बना दिया है। तो दोनों कमेटी का चेयरमैन और मेंबर्स आपस में बात करके वो लोग लोकेशन वाइज उन लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई करके दे चुका है। वो लोग आपस में के लोगों के पास में मिलने के लिए जाएंगे, तो वहां पे लोगों का सुनेंगे, लोगों का पक्ष क्या है, उन लोगों का प्रॉब्लम क्या है, उन लोगों का दिक्कतें क्या है, तो वहां पे ऑन ग्राउंड में रिकमेंडेशन करके फिर भेजेंगे।
तो आप होपफुल है कि बाय दिस ईयर ये सॉल्व हो जाएगा?
यस, वेरी होपफुल, वेरी होपफुल।
So that was Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Pema Khandu speaking exclusively to Northeast Live, reporting from Namsai with camera person Binod Adhikari. This is Arindam Das for Northeast Live.
All right, shifting focus now. Well, outbreak of African swine fever has reached an alarming position in Assam. Well, although the state government has initiated necessary steps to prevent the further spread of African swine fever, but things have taken a serious turn. According to Assam Animal Husbandry Minister Atul Bora, a section of pig farmers have concealed information about pigs being infected by the deadly disease. According to the minister, the pig farmers are intentionally hiding the matter and are not raising an alarm. However, Atul Bora said that the government are culling infected pigs and has imposed restrictions on transportation of pigs. So, big story we are tracking this evening, viewers. Well, outbreak of African swine fever has reached an alarming position in Assam. And meanwhile, although the state government has initiated necessary steps to prevent the further spread of African swine fever, but things have taken a serious turn. According to Assam Animal Husbandry Minister Atul Bora, a section of pig farmers have concealed information about pigs being infected by the deadly disease. According to the minister, the pig farmers are intentionally hiding the matter and are not raising an alarm. However, Atul Bora said that the government are culling infected pigs and has imposed restrictions on transportation of pigs. Well, our Chief of Bureau Arindam Das spoke exclusively to Animal Husbandry Minister Atul Bora on this matter. Listen in.
We are joined in by Assam Veterinary and Animal Husbandry Minister, Mr. Atul Bora. Well, African swine fever has once again taken an ugly turn in Upper Assam. What is the latest you have on it?
Yes, African swine fever has taken a serious turn. I have some information that some pigs in Tinsukia district is also suffering from African swine fever. So that way we are getting so many reports from different districts of the state. We have 21 lakhs pig population in Assam. In the national park, there are so many wild boars. We must do something. If we get any information from the farmers that in some areas the pig population is suffering from swine fever, then we can take steps. Otherwise, it is very difficult. But no one come forward to inform the doctors. That is also a major problem. And if we want to go for culling, they do not come forward. They do not want to do that.
So, what steps the government is taking right now?
Government is giving trust mainly because without biosecurity, it is very difficult to curb the disease. So every farmers must be conscious, must be careful. Otherwise, it will take a serious turn.
Is culling on, and is there is restriction on sale and transportation of pigs?
We stop transportation of pigs from outside. But the problem is this: the farmers they do not listen. They do not listen the administration advice of the doctors. That is the major problem. So we must try to create awareness among the farmers.
So, will the government pay compensation if culling is done?
No, if culling is done, government will pay compensation, no doubt about that. But the farmers they do not come forward for culling. That is the major problem.
On the other hand, our Dibrugarh correspondent Ripunjoy Das was on ground zero to take stock of the ongoing steps to prevent further spread of African swine fever. And we also have reactions coming in from some of the pig farmers. Listen in.
কিরকম করে বহুত আঘাত পুহিছিলোঁ গাহৰি এতিয়া তেনেকৈতো আমি যিখিনি মানে বেলেগৰ পৰা হেৰি দানা আনি খুৱাইছিলে আমিতো লোকেল থলুৱা দানা খুৱাইছিলোঁ কচু আৰু কলপচলা তুঁহগুৰি এইবিলাকে ভাত খুৱাইছিলোঁ তাকে এতিয়া আমাৰোতো তেনেকৈ পোৱা নাই বেমাৰে সেইটো কাৰণে অলপ দুখ লাগিছে আৰু
বাকী গাঁওখনত বেমাৰটো পাইছে
নাই পোৱা এতিয়ালৈকে যিখন ফাৰ্মত আছিলে সেইখনতে হৈছিলে
এতিয়া চৰকাৰে আপোনালোকৰ পৰা গাহৰি লৈ যোৱাৰ কাৰণে পইচা দিম বুলি কৈছে কিমান সেইটোত আপোনালোক সন্তুষ্ট নে
সেইটো সন্তুষ্ট মানে ধৰক মোৰ এতিয়া মাইকী পোৱালি হয় মই পোৱালি দিয়ালে মানে কিমানখিনি উৎপাদন হ'লহেঁতেন মোৰ
কিমান দি কিনিছিলে
৭,০০০
এতিয়া চৰকাৰে কিমান পইচা দিব কৈছে
এতিয়া চৰকাৰে কিমান দিয়ে আকৌ তেনেকৈ ভৱিষ্যত চাই মানে যিটো উৎপাদন হয় বছৰেকত সিমানটো দিলে বেছি ভাল পাম আৰু
কিমান দি কিনিছিলে এইটো
৭,০০০ দি কিনিছিলোঁ
এতিয়া চৰকাৰে কিমান ল'ব
চৰকাৰে এতিয়া মোক ২০-২৫,০০০ দিলে ভাল পাওঁ
কিন্তু কিমান দিব বুলি কৈছে
নাজানো কিমান দিব চৰকাৰে জানে আকৌ
কেইমাহ হ'ল
৫ মাহ হৈছে
আৰু আছিলে নেকি
আৰু নাই এইটোৱে আছিলে
And in some other stories now, After her remarks on the smoking Kali poster controversy, Trinamool Congress MP Mahua Moitra has stirred another row now with a tweet criticizing the list of unparliamentary words released by the Lok Sabha Secretariat. While taking a deliberate jab at the centre, Moitra tweeted that amid the replacement for unparliamentary words, her replacement for banned word sexual harassment would be Mr. Gogoi. Well, with the tweet evoking sharp response, slamming Moitra for defaming those with Gogoi's surname, the TMC MP later clarified that she referred to RSMP, Rajya Sabha MP Ranjan Gogoi. Well, earlier in the day, Moitra, in a series of tweets, spoke against the government's new rule, asking why the list does not include the word Sanghi. It may be mentioned that several opposition leaders, including Congress's Priyanka Gandhi, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Jairam Ramesh, and TMC's Derek O'Brien, have slammed the government's move. On Wednesday, the Lok Sabha Secretariat booklet banned the use of words like Anashit, Shakuni, dictatorial, Tanasha, Tanashi, Jaychand, Vinash, Purush, Khalistani, and Khoon Se Kheti. And it also listed words like Dora, Charitra, Nikamma, Nautanki, Dhindora, Pitna, and Beri Sarkar as unparliamentary expressions. Well, the list comes ahead of the monsoon session, which begins on July 18. Meanwhile, Mahua Moitra's tweets has evoked a sharp response back in Assam. We also have reactions from Rajya Sabha MP Pavitra Margharita and other leaders. Listen in.
তেওঁ আচলতে ভাৰতৰ বা অসমৰ ইতিহাস ভূগোল একো নাজানে যেনে বোধ হয় আৰু ইমান ধৃষ্টতা ইমান মূৰ্খামি আৰু ইমান বেয়াকৈ যে এটা জাতি জনগোষ্ঠী এটা সম্প্ৰদায় এখন প্ৰদেশৰ মানুহক ক'ব পাৰে এই আচলতে আমাৰ কল্পনাৰ অগোচৰ আছিল এগৰাকী সাংসদ হৈ আৰু তেওঁ জনা উচিত যে তেওঁৰ লগতে লোকসভা আৰু ৰাজ্যসভাত অসমৰ 4গৰাকী গগৈ বহে কেৱল আহোম জনগোষ্ঠীৰ প্ৰতি এটা অপমানসূচক বাক্য নহয় সমগ্ৰ অসমীয়া জাতিসত্তাৰ প্ৰতি এটা অতি অপমানসূচক অক্ষমনীয় অপৰাধ কৰিছে মহুৱা মৈত্ৰই সদ্যহতে মই আশা কৰিছোঁ যে এই যিটো দলৰ তেওঁ এগৰাকী প্ৰতিনিধি সেই দলটোৰ ইয়াৰ যিগৰাকী মুৰব্বী ৰিপুণ বৰাদেৱে তেখেতে অতীতত যিমানেই ভুল নকৰক কিয় এটা তেওঁ সুযোগ পাইছে অসমবাসীৰ ওচৰত আহোম জনগোষ্ঠীৰ ওচৰত তেওঁ ক্ষমা খোজক and we are also searching for a word to replace the word that is Mohua M. I'm a little bit confused which will be most suitable one in place of that is to replace the word Mohua M. Absurd, abnormal, what kind of word I have to decide and I will speak later that yes, I also want now to replace the word Mohua M with some other word like absurd, abnormal, etc.
আমি দেখিবলৈ পাইছো যে এটা টুইটত মহুৱা মিত্ৰই কৈছে যে যৌন নিৰ্যাতন বা সেক্সুৱেল হাৰাসমেণ্টৰ দৰে অসংসদীয় শব্দৰ পৰিৱৰ্তে মিষ্টাৰ গগৈ নামৰ শব্দ দুটা ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিবৰ কাৰণে তেখেতে আহ্বান জনাই এটা টুইট কৰিছে গতিকে এই টুইটৰ আমি টাই আহোম যুৱ পৰিষদ অসম তাইৰ পৰা কেন্দ্ৰীয় সমিতিয়ে তীব্ৰ আমি বিৰোধিতা কৰিছো আৰু এই সাংসদগৰাকীৰ লগতে তৃণমূল কংগ্ৰেছৰ কেন্দ্ৰীয় নেতৃবৃন্দ আৰু অসম তৃণমূল কংগ্ৰেছৰ নেতৃবৃন্দক আমি অসমবাসীৰ ওচৰত কৰজোৰে আমি প্ৰাৰ্থনা কৰিব কৰজোৰে ক্ষমা কৰিবৰ কাৰণে তেওঁলোকক আমি দাবী জনাইছো তেখেতে জনা উচিত আজি তেখেতৰ 4গৰাকীকৈ গগৈ উপাধিৰ অসমক প্ৰতিনিধিত্ব কৰা সাংসদ আজি লোকসভা আৰু ৰাজ্যসভাত আছে অসমৰ পৰা ৰাজ্যসভালৈ পবিত্ৰ গগৈ মাৰ্ঘেৰিটা আৰু প্ৰাক্তন ভাৰতবৰ্ষৰ মুখ্য ন্যায়াধীশ ৰঞ্জন গগৈ ডাঙৰীয়া ৰাজ্যসভাত আছে আৰু লোকসভাত তপন কুমাৰ গগৈ আৰু গৌৰৱ গগৈ এই 4জন লোকসভা আৰু ৰাজ্যসভা মিলাই 4জন গগৈ উপাধিৰ অসমীয়া সাংসদ আছে তাৰ পাছতো তেখেতে এই সতীৰ্থ সাংসদসকলৰ লগতে সমগ্ৰ আহোম জনগোষ্ঠীটো কেৱল আহোম জনগোষ্ঠী নহয় সমগ্ৰ অসমীয়া জাতিটোক যি অপমান কৰিছে তাৰ কাৰণে আমি টাই আহোম যুৱ পৰিষদৰ তীব্ৰ আমি নিন্দা কৰিছো
And now on to the big story related to the Naga peace talks. Will the core committee on Naga political issue come up with a crucial resolution to give a last push for a breakthrough in talks? Will the core committee push for a deadline as far as conclusion of peace talks is concerned? Well, all eyes will be on the extremely significant and by far the most important meeting of the core committee on Naga political issue in Kohima tomorrow. The meeting is scheduled to start at 10:30 a.m. Significantly, speaking to Northeast Live editor-in-chief Wasbir Hussain on the show Northeast Tonight ahead of the core committee meeting, UDA co-chairman and senior NPF leader Azo Neno said that the core committee may come up with a resolution to give a last push for a big breakthrough in the peace talks. Not only this, stating that the talks cannot go on endlessly, Neno indicated that the core committee may consider coming up with a deadline for conclusion of talks.
Mr. Arjuneno, now you see the core committee, all the political parties in Nagaland have decided to form an oppositionless government in a bid to facilitate. Now you have formed a core committee. Core committee is meeting day after tomorrow in Kohima. Now, what will be the stand of the core committee?
Firstly, let me come to your previous question. You see, Naga political issue or problem is a political issue. And so therefore, if a politician is involved, it'll be much better instead of a bureaucrat or an ex-military man or an ex-policeman, number one. Number two, core committee will be sitting on 16, 10, 30. And we might be, I have not read the minds of other members because previously I have already missed one very important meeting. But we might come up with a certain resolution to give a last push or make a big breakthrough to the Naga political talks.
Now, Mr. Neno, is the core committee, do you think, what is the sense you are getting? Do you think the core committee this time is going to set a deadline? Or do you think the core committee this time is to come up with the idea to tell the government of India as well as the negotiators from the Naga leaders' side to fix a certain time frame for resolution of the peace talks?
Yeah, I think that is a rough idea, what you have already said, that we might come with that line.
Now, we
might come up.
This may be a big breaking story day after tomorrow, that the core committee may come up with the idea that the government of India, the NSC and IM and the NNPGs, they have to fix a time frame within which to resolve the differences and sign a possible Naga peace accord.
While there is a growing demand for solution at the earliest, not all Naga civil society and traditional bodies seem to be in favor of setting a deadline for conclusion of talks. Naga Hoho General Secretary Elu Ndong, who was also on the show, is of the view that a time frame cannot be put for conclusion of talks, as that may amount to a precondition. Andang added that permanent solution cannot come with an imposed agreement.
Mr. Eluandang, you have heard Mr. Ajo Neno indicating that the core committee in its meeting day after tomorrow may come up with a suggestion to the government of India and the Naga groups, that is the NSC and IM and the NNPGs, that they should fix a time frame or a deadline within which to solve their differences and possibly sign a Naga accord. Do you think that can be worked on? Do you think that is workable?
If we look back at the negotiation process, it all started with mutually agreed points that the negotiation will be without preconditions. And therefore, I don't see any practicality if any of the groups place a time frame. Because just the recent 2019, 31st October, we have experienced.
So Mr. Eluandang, my direct question to you, you think that means, do you think that the talks should go on indefinitely until and unless the NSA and IM agrees to the solution. Are you saying that?
See, it is a negotiation. We don't want the process to keep on forever. There has to be a meeting point, of course, that we agree. But if we have to look for a permanent settlement or solution with an imposed agreement, I don't think that will last.
No,
So
how?
with a time frame, within time frame, if it can be agreed, nothing, no better than that.
No, okay.
But I don't believe that within time frame it will work out.
Yeah, but you are regarding the time frame also as a precondition, is it?
Yes.
So, Mr.
Because
Neno,
within certain parameter,
right?
if we have to come, that amounts to imposition.
Well, now it's time for a very short break. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
জ্বৰ মানে COVID-19 নহয়, ই জাপানীজ এনকেফ্লাইটিছৰ লক্ষণ হ'ব পাৰে, কাৰণ এই সময়খিনি জাপানীজ এনকেফ্লাইটিছৰ উচ্চ সংক্ৰমণৰ সময়, গতিকে আতংকিত নহ'ব। অতিপাত জ্বৰ, তীব্ৰ মূৰৰ বিষ, মানসিক অস্থিৰতা, ভ্ৰম আৰু সংজ্ঞানহীনতা, শৰীৰৰ কঁপনি আদি হৈছে জাপানীজ এনকেফ্লাইটিছৰ লক্ষণ। আপোনাৰ ক্ষেত্ৰতো যদি এনে কোনো লক্ষণ পৰিলক্ষিত হয়, তেনেহ'লে আশা, ANM, MPW বা ওচৰৰ চিকিৎসালয়ৰ সৈতে যোগাযোগ কৰক। সকলো জিলা চিকিৎসালয় আৰু চিকিৎসা মহাবিদ্যালয়ত জাপানীজ এনকেফ্লাইটিছৰ পৰীক্ষা আৰু চিকিৎসা বিনামূলীয়াকৈ প্ৰদান কৰা হয়। এই ৰোগৰ পৰা বাচি থাকিবলৈ খোৱাৰ সময়ত সদায় আঁঠুৱা ব্যৱহাৰ কৰক। ঘৰৰ ওচৰৰ পৰা গাহৰি আৰু গাহৰিৰ গঁৰাল আঁতৰাই ৰাখক। দীঘল হাতৰ চোলা আৰু দীঘল হাতৰ পেণ্ট পৰিধান কৰক। সন্ধিয়া ঘৰৰ ভিতৰে বাহিৰে ধোঁৱা দিয়াৰ ব্যৱস্থা কৰক। লগতে সকলো সময়তে কোভিড সংক্ৰান্তীয় নীতি নিয়মসমূহ মানি চলক। সতৰ্ক হওক, সুৰক্ষিত থাকক।
The Tupul railway yard where this massive landslide took place, there was a camp of the territorial army. There were camps of the railway. The landslide started and it came down all the way and it went down furthermore many meters down to the None River. The officials of the NDRF, SDRF and also the local people who are carrying out the search and rescue operations.
The Shillong Pamai, he's the exact person just lead the rescue operation from this side. This is Saroi Pandongba village. This is a river side on the Saroi Pandongba side.
हम और आप कभी नहीं सोच सकते थे कि दीमा हासों में इस तरह का न्यू हाफलोंग रेलवे स्टेशन इतना कुछ हो सकता है। और इसी रेलवे स्टेशन में विस्टाडून जैसा ट्रेन यहाँ पर
Welcome back. You're watching Northeast Live. And now, before moving on to some other news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Assam and Arunachal Pradesh governments ink historic Namsai declaration to resolve boundary dispute. Chief ministers of both states confident of ending dispute by this year. Trinamool MP Mahua Moitra stirs another controversy, replaces sexual harassment with Mr. Gogoi amid unparliamentary words list row. Alarming situation over African swine fever outbreak in Assam. Animal Husbandry Minister calls for cooperation from farmers to tackle menace. All Meghalaya SSA Teachers Association begins indefinite strike, slams government for allegedly failing to fulfill promises. India continues to fight COVID-19. Assam, Manipur and Tripura governments begin drive to administer booster doses. And Dalai Lama calls upon India and China to resolve issues. Tibetan spiritual leader advocates for mutual talks between both nations. On to Meghalaya now. The All Meghalaya SSA Teachers Association today started its indefinite sit-in demonstration at the parking lot near the additional secretariat in Shillong. The protest came after the state government's failure to comply with their demands for the release of their pending salaries for 5 months and arrears for 8 months of the 2016 to 2017 fiscal. It may be mentioned here that the teachers' body had earlier announced that it will hold an indefinite agitation if the state government fails to comply with the demands within July 12. And speaking to media, the president of All Garo Hills SSA School Teachers Association said that they had not received their salaries for 5 months and requested the chief minister to look into the matter and release their pending salaries.
SSA school teachers. Let's say hip hip hooray for the.
We are not receiving our salaries since last 5 months. So it's up to the state government to approach the central government regarding our pending salaries. So we are demanding, since last 5 months, we are demanding our state government to release our pending salaries. However, the state government is reluctant to release our salaries. So we are compelled to organize this meeting. We are compelled to come out to the street and raise our democratic voices. May I request our humble Chief Minister to look into the matter and to work out to release our salaries as a Chief Minister of the state. So we as a teachers of the state, we cannot accept the releasing of 1 month or 2 months salaries within 5 months. So it is the state government is in the habit of releasing only 1 or 2 months salary within 5 or 6 or 7 months. So we are totally disrespect with this works of the state government towards as a teachers of the state.
Called us yesterday evening. We have met them, but didn't have any decision from the government. Have given collective, positive things from the government side. That's why we the teachers, we are continue with this agitation till the government have promised with in black and white for fulfill our demand of our salary. If the government are not fulfilled, we try means we have to sit here as a different agitation. If it's just they said you have to sit period at night also will have to continue. That problem is started since 2016 till date. The problem we the teachers will facing the same problem for when we before we get our salary we have to come for the street to demand to the government only. But we as a teachers now we give a suggestion to the government try to pay for our salary within 3 in a month. Means 3 will quarterly. That means 3 months one time have to pay for our salary. This time we are pending of salary 5 months salary, but the government they are promising just only 2 months. We are not agree with the government has given that promise to us.
And in some other stories now. From today onwards, free COVID booster doses are being provided to persons above the age of 18. The special drive is being carried out at the government by the government all over the country for a period of 75 days. Any person between the age of 18 and 59 can get themselves vaccinated with the booster dose for free at any government hospital or clinic. Well, the move has also been made keeping in mind the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. Today, the special vaccination drive was inaugurated in Assam by Assam Health Minister Keshav Mahanta. The minister inaugurated the vaccine drive at the primary healthcare center in Guwahati's Azara.
আজাদী কা অমৃত মহোৎসৱৰ লগত সংহতি ৰাখি টিকাকৰণ অমৃত মহোৎসৱ হিচাপে ভাৰতবৰ্ষৰ প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী নৰেন্দ্ৰ মোদী ডাঙৰীয়াই আজিৰ পৰা ৭৫ দিনৰ কাৰণে আমাৰ যিসকল ১৮ বছৰৰ পৰা ৫৯ বছৰৰ লোক তৃতীয় পালি লোৱা নাছিল তেখেতসকলক আমি এই ৭৫ দিন ধৰি ১৮ বছৰৰ ঊৰ্ধ্বৰ সকলো লোককে আজিৰ পৰা এই ভেকচিন অভিযান আমি আৰম্ভ কৰিছোঁ। এই অভিযান হ'ব টিকাকৰণ অমৃত মহোৎসৱ আৰু ইয়াত আমাৰ মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী ডক্টৰ হিমন্ত বিশ্ব শৰ্মা ডাঙৰীয়াৰ নিৰ্দেশত আমি ৰাজ্যখনত আজি ২০০০ স্থানত এই টিকাকৰণৰ শুভাৰম্ভ হ'ব আৰু আজিৰ পৰা ৭৫ দিন ধৰি এই টিকাকৰণৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত সকলো ৰাইজক আমি আহ্বান জনাইছোঁ সহযোগ কৰি তৃতীয় পালি ভেকচিন লৈ তেখেতসকলে যাতে তেখেতসকলৰ কোভিডৰ লগত যুঁজাৰ শক্তি আহৰণ কৰে।
So, under the 75-day free vaccination drive as part of the government's Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Tripura also started the campaign today and launched the booster dose drive. Tripura Chief Minister Dr. Manik Saha launched the drive at IGM Hospital, where a set of beneficiaries were administered the precautionary third dose. Alright, Chief Minister Saha urged people to avail of the free vaccine drive initiated by the centre.
Due to this booster dose or this precautionary dose, the immunity would be developed by the blessings of our honorable Prime Minister. We will be able to control the COVID, this third or fourth wave of this COVID. And I'm sure that people will be safe. There won't be any problem, and there should not be any creation of any havoc. I urge upon all the people not to be worried about this COVID.
এই তো আজকে আমার থার্ড ডোজটা মানে বুস্টার ভ্যাকসিনটা নিলাম আজকে এবং আমি তো সবার কাছে অ্যাপিল করব যে টাইম টু টাইম সব ডোজগুলোকে নিয়ে নেওয়ার জন্য, সেটাই বেস্ট প্রত্যেকের জন্য, সমাজে প্রত্যেকেরই এটাতে ভালো হবে। এবং অবশ্যই সবারই একটা মাথায় চিন্তা রয়েছে ফোর্থ ওয়েভের, তো সেটা যাতে সাকসেসফুল না হতে পারে তাই আমরা সমাজের প্রত্যেকটা মানুষকে এগিয়ে এসে টাইম টু টাইম ডোজ নিয়ে সেরে মাস্ক পরে স্যানিটাইজার ইউজ করে আমরা কোভিডকে হারাতে হবে।
चिंतित हूँ, बहुत चिंतित हूँ और आज मेरा फर्स्ट डोज था यहाँ पे, लेके बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। हाँ, बहुत टेंशन था कि कोरोना फिर से स्प्रेड हो रहा है, फिर से बहुत लोगों को इफेक्ट करेगा। बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है फर्स्ट डोज लेके, सबको डोज लेना चाहिए।
অন্তত থার্ড বুস্টার হলো আমাদের অনেকটা ডেঞ্জার থেকে আমরা এখন একটু বিপদ মুক্ত আশা করব। আর এইটাকে এরকম চলুক, বুস্টার ডোজগুলো সবাই নিক। সরকার যথেষ্ট চেষ্টা করছে কোভিড নামক এই ভীষণ ইয়েটাকে দেশ থেকে সরানোর জন্য, আটকে দেওয়ার জন্য।
Meanwhile, in Manipur, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh launched the Manipur leg of the COVID vaccine Amrit Mahotsav Jan Abhiyan. And it may be mentioned here that the Manipur leg of drive is being jointly organized by National Health Mission and Directorate of Health and Family Welfare. The launching event, attended by State Health Minister Dr. Sabam Ranjan Singh, CAF and PDA Minister El Susindra, and officials from both National Health Mission and Health and Family Welfare Services, took place at the Chief Minister's Secretariat. Speaking to reporters after the launch, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi and appealed to the people to get the booster dose.
Under the guidance of the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, we're launching of COVID vaccine Amrit Mahotsav under Jan Abhiyan, and we are targeting to get vaccination around 10,18,619 people above 18 years of age. Earlier, booster was allowed only 60 and above. Today, we would like to appreciate the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and the teams of the doctors who allowed above 18 years of age to have this booster vaccination. So I appeal to the people of the state to get this booster vaccination, and it will be available in all healthcare center, PHC, district hospital, including RIMS and GNIMS. So I appeal to the people of the state to get vaccination at the earliest.
Meanwhile, the free booster shot drive has also begun in the rest of India. The special vaccine drive is being conducted to give a boost to India's vaccination drive. Well, the vaccination drive comes at a time when COVID cases are again on the rise in India, with fears of a third wave rising among the people. Meanwhile, the vaccination drive in the national capital, New Delhi, as well as other parts of the country. In New Delhi, the vaccination drive was inaugurated by Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia.
आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के अवसर पर माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने 18 एबव देश के सभी नागरिकों को प्रिकॉशन डोज मुफ्त लगाने के लिए आज 15 जुलाई से 75 दिन तक फ्री किया है। आज हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री के सभी एम्प्लॉइज को मुफ्त प्रिकॉशन डोज लगाने के लिए वैक्सीनेशन सेंटर का प्रारंभ हुआ। देश के सभी 18 से अधिक उम्र के नागरिकों को मेरा आग्रह है कि आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के अवसर पर 75 दिन तक चल रहा इस अभियान में आप भी मुफ्त टीका लगाइए और कोविड के सामने आप अपनी सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित करिए।
Meanwhile, amid the rising COVID cases, Sikkim government has started fining those without mask in public places. Those without masks are being fined with rupees 500.
कोविड के लिए मास्क कंपलसरी व्यवहार नहीं थे। हाँ, हमारे वहाँ पे मतलब इतना नहीं था। मैं आज नया हूँ यहाँ पे, तो इतना भी पता नहीं था। बाहर में भी वैसे लोग कोई मास्क लगा रहे हैं, कोई नहीं लगा रहे हैं, तो उसकी वजह से मैंने नहीं लगाया, तो अभी लगा लूँगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। तो कितना फाइन कितना लिया? 500। आप घूमने आए? हाँ, घूमने के लिए। कहाँ से? गुवाहाटी। 500 पता नहीं था मास्क कंपलसरी है, तो क्या बोला अभी? तो फाइन बोल रहा है, देखिए आप।
हाँ, फाइन बोल रहा है 500 रुपये जी।
तो क्या बोल रहा है पुलिस?
अभी कंपलसरी मास्क पहनना पड़ेगा, यही बोल रहा है। मास्क था, हाँ मैंने नहीं पहना। अभी जस्ट गर्मियों के ऊपर से यहाँ से ऊपर आया था ना, जोरथांग से आया, तो अभी
लोकल ही है।
हाँ लोकल ही हूँ।
Moving on now. Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, has called upon India and China to resolve their issues through mutual talks. The Tibetan spiritual leader made the statement while visiting Jammu. The first visit after Jammu and Kashmir was divided into two union territories in August 2019. While talking to reporters in Jammu, Dalai Lama said that India and China are two highly populated neighbors and it is high time that they resolve their differences through mutual talks. He further said that the differences between both the nations must be resolved through peaceful means and dialogues instead of engaging in armed conflict.
How do you see the expansionist policy of the Chinese side in Ladakh since you are going there?
Basically, India and China, most populated two nations and neighbor. Sooner or later, you have to solve this problem through talk, through peaceful means. Use military force is outdated. Thank you.
Well, soon after the Dalai Lama reached Jammu, he tried to send a message to China that he is not seeking a complete independence of Tibet, but preservation of Tibetan Buddhist culture and a meaningful autonomy within China. Dalai Lama has reached Leh in Ladakh as part of his scheduled visit, where he was accorded a welcome.
दालाई लामा के लिए रिसेप्शन के लिए आया है। हमें बहुत खुशी हो रहा है। कुछ 3 साल बाद दालाई लामा जी लद्दाख आया है। हमें बहुत खुशी है, इसलिए हम खास गांव से आया है, लद्दाख हनु से।
It may be mentioned that the visit is likely to upset China amid a prolonged standoff between the Chinese People's Liberation Army or PLA and the Indian Army along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh. Recently, China criticized India and alleged interference in its internal affairs after Prime Minister Narendra Modi called the Dalai Lama and wished him on his 87th birthday. All right, back to region and moving on to a big story from Manipur. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh's visionary step to ensure proper development in the hill districts got a massive push today. Indeed, it can be considered as a historic step as the Hill Leaders Day became official from today. And what can be termed as a big positive move, the deputy commissioners of all the hill districts will interact with leaders of of the Hill districts to take stock and initiate necessary steps for resolving all the issues. The interactions between the DCs and leaders of the Hill districts will take place on the third week of every month. All deputy commissioners in the Hill districts have been directed by the Chief Minister to hold the program without fail at the district headquarters. Every department under the district administration is required to participate in the program, failing which necessary actions will be taken against those absent. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh's visionary step to ensure proper development in the hill districts got a massive push today. Indeed, it can be considered as a historic step as the Hill Leaders' Day became official from today. And what can be termed as a big positive move, the deputy commissioners of all the hill districts will interact with leaders of the hill districts to take stock and initiate necessary steps for resolving all the issues. The interactions between the DCs and leaders of the hill districts will take place on third week of every month. All deputy commissioners in the hill districts have been directed by the chief minister to hold the program without fail at the district headquarters. Every department under the district administration is required to participate in the program, failing which necessary actions will be taken against those absent.
Today being the first day in our district, still we have quite good enough footfall. We are able to address 17 grievances, complaints, applications of the people. Mostly they are related to road applications uh, for social sector schemes like old age pension, like such type of things given. In fact, I'm happy to say that today we have given one card for handloom also. So this type of things, and I really thank all my DLOs for preparing in a short time all the such good arrangement. You can see all almost my 60-70 DLOs having their own stall so that people can go. They don't have to move in the different offices. It is like one-stop solution for all, and I'm happy that in the next month we'll have a very big number of footfall in the district, and I appeal to the people once again, they should take advantage of this. The motive of government of Manipur of delivering service at the doorstep.
All right, viewers, coming back to the top story. Well, in line with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of a dispute-free Northeast before 2024, the Assam and Arunachal Pradesh governments today signed the Namsai Declaration to resolve the decades-old interstate border dispute between both the states. The declaration was signed by Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma and his Arunachal counterpart Pema Khandu at Namsai. During the deliberations, both the states arrived at a conclusion that disputes now persist in 86 villages, although differences existed initially pertaining to 123 villages. Both the states arrived at this crucial conclusion on the basis of findings by the Survey of India and deputy commissioners of both states. Briefing media, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma said that 34 villages are already under the constitutional jurisdiction of Arunachal Pradesh, while 3 are in Assam. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Sharma said that regional committees of both the states will work together to resolve the issue by making ground zero visits and interacting with all the concerned stakeholders. Chief Minister Sharma said that every effort will be made to reach a consensus on the decades long issue before September 15.
Namsai declaration has been signed. We can say it's a historic moment.
As you know, that Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji and Home Minister Sri Amit Shah ji is very keen to see that interstate dispute between the northeastern state is resolved. So today, through Namsai declaration, we have taken a very huge step forward to the effect that initially the dispute between Assam and Arunachal was considered to be 123 villages. But when we considered Survey of India map and the field report of Deputy Commissioner, we have come to a conclusion that now this dispute can be resolved only to 86. Most 28 plus 6 villages, almost 34 villages are actually within the constitutional boundary of Arunachal. 3 villages, Arunachal has already said that it is within the state of Assam. So today it is very historic to the effect that we have restricted the dispute from 123 to 86 villages. Now, on this 86 village, the regional committee formed by both the government will work together, and by 15th September, we'll try to bring more consensus.
So how the regional committees will work now?
Our regional committee is headed by cabinet minister from both sides. They will visit the respective area. They will consult the maps. They will consult the land records. They will take the views of local people, and then they will submit the report to the chief minister of both the states.
Well, Pema Khandu has said that he is hopeful to solve the border dispute by this year.
You see, the dispute in some area is very simple. Some area it is complex. So let us work now and see what happens. But yes, we are committed to resolve the dispute.
Thank you very much. That was Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma talking exclusively to Northeast Live. Reporting from Namsai with camera person Binod Adhikari. This is Arindam Das for Northeast Live.
Meanwhile, Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Pema Khandu appreciated the political will of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah and his Assam counterpart Himanta Biswa Sharma in resolving the interstate boundary issue that has existed over 70 years. The Arunachal Chief Minister added that people's opinion will be taken into consideration before making any final decision. An interim report will be submitted by regional committees of both the states by September 15, which will be examined by both the state governments before being forwarded to the center for approval.
We are joined in by Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Mr. Pema Khandu. Well, today the Namsai Declaration has been signed. So how do you view this?
इनफैक्ट ये हमारा अरुणाचल प्रदेश और असम के लिए बहुत ही एक अच्छा एक निर्णय यहाँ पे हुआ है। तो मैं सबसे पहले तो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, यूनियन मिनिस्टर, होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह जी को तहे दिल से धन्यवाद प्रकट करना चाहता हूँ। और साथ ही साथ हमारे जो विजनरी लीडर है ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर असम, उनके प्रोएक्टिवनेस के कारण से आज जो यहाँ नामसाई डिक्लेरेशन, जिसका कॉपी आप लोगों को अभी मिल चुका होगा, उसमें देखिए कि असम अरुणाचल का जो बॉर्डर इशू है वो करीबन 70 सालों से 7 डेकेड से चल रहा है। ये पॉलिटिकल विल कमजोर होने के कारण से इसको रिजोल्व कर नहीं पाया, मगर अभी प्रधानमंत्री के नेतृत्व में और हमारे जो काउंटर पार्ट है श्री अमित शाह, डॉक्टर हेमंत बिश्वा शर्मा जी और यूनियन होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह जी के एडवाइस पर अभी कुल मिला के जो 123 जो विलेजेस में जो डिस्प्यूट है उसको आज हम लोग यहाँ नामसाई में डिस्कस करके डिलिब्रेशंस करके आउट ऑफ दैट 37 विलेजेस इज ऑलरेडी रिजॉल्व नाउ। तो 123 माइनस 37 वो अभी आके 86 विलेजेस में अभी बैठा हुआ है। और इस 86 विलेजेस को भी अभी अरुणाचल और असम दोनों कमिटी गठन हो चुका है और कमिटी इज हेडेड बाय द मिनिस्टर्स फ्रॉम बोथ द साइड्स। दोनों अभी ज्वाइंट विजिट उन सभी लोकेशंस पे ज्वाइंट विजिट करेंगे, लोगों का कॉन्फिडेंस लेंगे इसमें, असम के लोगों के पास भी जाके उनसे भी बातचीत करेंगे और अरुणाचल के लोगों का भी एकदम आराम से बैठ के बात करके लोगों का हिसाब से ही हम लोग अभी इसको ग्राउंड में फील्ड विजिट करके इसको सोल्यूशन देंगे। और साथ साथ एक टाइमलाइन भी हम लोग ने सेट किया है कि बाय 15 सितंबर एक इंटरिम रिपोर्ट दोनों गवर्नमेंट को सबमिट किया जाए, उसको फिर हम लोग फर्दर एग्जामिन करके हम लोग फॉरवर्ड फिर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को कंसिडरेशन के लिए हम लोग फॉरवर्ड करेंगे। ये जो बॉर्डर का जो विषय जो है, मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले जो कहा कि पॉलिटिकल विल के कारण से ही अभी हो रहा है, तो हम लोग पूरा टारगेट कर रहा है कि बाय 2022 बाय एंड ऑफ दिस ईयर इसको हम लोग पूरा रिजॉल्व करने का पूरा विद पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड के साथ हम लोग काम कर रहा है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
तो आपने बताया कि प्रेस मीट में बाय 2022 एंड यू वांट टू सॉल्व द बॉर्डर डिस्प्यूट एमिकेबली, तो कैसे करेंगे?
तो वही तो मैं ब्रीफ किया ना कि कमेटी का गठन हो चुका है। अरुणाचल में 12 डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, असम का 8 डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, मगर असम ने भी 12 कमेटी बना दिया है। तो दोनों कमेटी का चेयरमैन और मेंबर्स आपस में बात करके वो लोग लोकेशन वाइज उन लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई करके दे चुका है। वो लोग आपस में बात करके लोगों के पास में मिलने के लिए जाएंगे, तो वहाँ पे लोगों का सुनेंगे, लोगों का पक्ष क्या है, उन लोगों का प्रॉब्लम क्या है, उन लोगों का दिक्कतें क्या है, तो वहाँ पे ऑन ग्राउंड में रिकमेंडेशन करके फिर भेजेंगे।
तो आप होपफुल है कि बाय दिस ईयर ये सॉल्व हो जाएगा?
Yes, very hopeful, very hopeful.
So that was Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Pema Khandu speaking exclusively to Northeast Live. Reporting from Namsai with camera person Binod Adhikari. This is Arindam Das for Northeast Live.
All right, moving on now. Well, some good news for all of you looking for a quaint space packed with mouth-watering gastronomic delights while sipping on a cup of tea or coffee. Well, the government culinary and food delivery platform by Indian Hotels Company or IHCL Cumin opened its first ever cafe at the prestigious Oris Mall in Guwahati. The launch of this cafe marks the establishment of the 17th Cumin cafe in the country. Taking inspiration from the contours of the tea and coffee plantations across the world, the new cafe's interiors are surrounded with complementing surfaces of soft wood with bright hues and colorful fabrics, which imbibe a youthful charm to the space. Speaking to Northeast Live, Jayant Das, Cluster General Manager IHCL, said that Cumin's expansion is in line with the strategy of growing its F&B portfolio across multiple market segments where guests can enjoy high-quality products, global flavors, and delectable beverages. Meanwhile, since its launch in mid-2020, Cumin has rapidly expanded to 20 cities, delivering comfort as well as signature favorites from IHCL restaurants. Cumin Cafe will soon be available on the Cumin app for online orders and deliveries. Well, news and updates continue on Northeast Live, so stay tuned for more news. Thanks for watching.
অসমৰ পৰম্পৰাগত হস্ততাঁত শিল্পৰ সৈতে জড়িত মহিলাসকলক উৎসাহিত কৰাৰ বাবে আমাৰ চৰকাৰে